The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LJA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LJA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last.
From deep in the desert of Nevada, broadcasting to the world, it's the Glenn Lary Show.
And I am Glenn Lary. I do bid you all welcome from across all the time zones right now, wherever you might be. And to all my nighttime drivers, I say hello to you, and it's good that you're listening. And I bid a hello to all my affiliates out there and small broadcasters, micro broadcasters, and to all those folks out there on ham radio. Yes, and I want to say hello to the World Radio Club. And I am 4499 is my number, and say hello to them. To KPFF FM in Pahrump, Nevada, we say hello to you also. What a good little station, KBHR 57 AM, Siskiyou, Alaska. Yes, we do say hello to you, and thank you for listening and tuning us in and all that up there. I'll tell you for sure what great people. To Ed over there in Florida, saying hello to you. To Barbara and Neil in England, we say hello to you also. And Steve in Australia, I see that you're all up there and listening. I must be a little late over there, I'll tell you the truth. Time zones are a little bit different. We're going to have open lines tonight, which will start around, maybe 15 minutes of the hour. And we'll go all night if we can, to the hour, of course. And the rules are no bad language. I mean it, no bad language. And please, talking to your phone, don't talk away from the phone, especially your cell phone. Speak clearly if you may, and make sure that you tune down and turn down that radio or your television set wherever you may be hearing our broadcast, because we'll get echo, and it just really is a mess, to tell you the truth. Yeah. So, had a little good time the other day at the old Pioneer Saloon. I got myself a T-shirt, by the way. Had to get it, man. It was so cool. The back was really cooler. And, I met with a lot of people in there, and I heard some really cool stories about some UFOs that have been seen in the desert out here. And I shared mine. They shared theirs. And I talked to a gentleman about time. Yeah, lost of time. It happened to him, and he had quite a story. Has that ever happened to you where you were driving along and all of a sudden you arrive earlier than you're supposed to at this destination from A to B? You're gone for 2.5 hours and all of a sudden you're just sitting in front of the place and you wake up and you're there. Something's not right, of course. Your shoe's on the other foot, or something's wrong. Your shirt's not really backwards, or maybe somebody dressed you. Who knows? Maybe were you taken? Loss of time. Or did you go through something that happens where all of a sudden you go through a dimension? You go somewhere else. Interesting. Got a full moon out here tonight. Beautiful. Right out the station window. Boy, it is big and it's really clear. Got a real clear night. The stars out there and very beautiful. We had a lot of snow. It's gone away, though. Thank gosh it's gone away, and we're starting to warm up. Are you warming up? how is your weather where you're at? Is it still cold? New York's got some stuff going on. I know that. And oh yeah, weather's been very, very crazy. A gentleman was on TikTok the other day, and he actually had a snowball, and he was lighting the snowball with a lighter, and it was doing some very strange things. Yeah, it turned black and it wouldn't melt. Wasn't melting. What is that? It's cold, but why was that snow doing that? Why would it not just melt? That's pretty crazy, huh? Want to say hello to Karen over there at Creekside Diner, Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much. She really supports the emergency guys out there, EMS and all the fire and police. And she's got a great breakfast. I got these free breakfasts for my birthday. I gotta go, and dinners. I gotta get over there. Every time I go over to Pennsylvania, have a good time. Yeah, good people over there. It's Station 23. Gosh, you guys are great. And God, I'll see you guys and get over there again to Chief Hall. Yeah, I think he's in Florida. A lot of people in Florida lately. I noticed that a lot of people are moving out of California. They're moving to Texas and they're going to Florida. That's interesting. I wonder why. Yeah. I don't want to bash them, but I mean, think about it. What's going on? And it was quite interesting when I heard the Senator Kennedy just recently mentioned about these UFOs that have been seen and that have been shot down. And there's one that we know what it was. Of course, it's from China. And but the one last one, apparently, he says he has no idea. They don't know what it is or where it's from. It's not from the states or from countries. It's something else, and they're quite concerned. I think that something's going to be said, and it's going to shock a lot of people. May it be from another universe, or may it be us from another time. Maybe it's a drone that's something that's going to record us. What's going on now? I don't know. They just, at this point, they're not saying, they apparently can't identify what this type of equipment is or what it is. This small little craft, apparently. So that's very interesting. What do you think about all this? I mean, what are you seeing? Do you see things up in the sky, but you can identify them? Well, there's UFOs, there's the UAPs. I mean, these are, we've seen them for years. They've been around for years. And you know how I feel about it. I think they're here. I think they've always been here. And I think they come and go as they please. And I think that their cloaking devices are maybe shut off, or they're not cloaking that much anymore. Or if they are, we're not seeing a lot of them, of course. But like I say, I do want to open the lines up around. We got another 8-9 minutes here. And I want to hear your opinions on what you think about what's going on with all this. Is it for us to think about this and not China and Russia? Is it kind of making us go this direction instead of this direction? Are we paying attention to what's going on? Politics. I don't talk much about that. But what's going on? What do you think? I got to also thank Ed for last week. We had a picture that he had taken at Area 51. And I've got a better copy of it. We'll have that up probably next week. I was hoping to have him again, as I told you, Bill, RT Bruce is his name, and he was supposed to be on the show tonight, but he had an emergency, so he couldn't make it. I hope everything's going to be okay on that end of it, but we will have him back on. He is a UFO investigator, and he has a book out. He's quite interesting guy, and we try to keep that going here on this show. He would like to be in the studio, but he's just at this point he can't do it. So we're gonna have him on the line, on the phone. Call us in that one line we have. Yeah, so much going on. Texas is getting a lot of sightings lately. Austin, Houston area, and the last one was seen was, of course, the boomerang type of craft, and Wow, it's been seen, yeah, and it's being seen everywhere. Are there many of these crafts like this? Is that ours? They're in our skies. I know they've been seen in Brazil and France and over there in the Europe area. And I know that it's a famous one, but it's just so large, and it's a boomerang type of UFO craft. I say to myself, what does that craft do? What does it mean? We don't see any type of gunship type of situation there. It's just has the lights, and it's got that boomerang look to it, and it travels very slow. It vanishes because it disappears so fast. It's a fast craft. So poof, he's gone. So we're going to open the lines right now. Let me put this number out to you.
To talk with Glenn Lary, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114.
Hello, this is Glenn Lary on the show. What's your name and where are you from?
This is your pal, Francis. How are you tonight?
Well, Francis, how are you, my friend?
Well, I got in a little late from St. George, so I just
okay.
tuning in the show.
Well, thank you, my friend. I want to tell everybody this is Francis. He's a radio personality himself. He also owns Carpet Tiles USA. Yeah, and
that's it. That's the one.
That's the guy. And I'm going to give you a number out, 702-265-4419, if you want to know about carpets, what it's all about when you buy carpet. I mean, but that's what I can tell you, folks. How you been, Francis? What's going on?
Very good. I had a nice ride today up to St. George, me and my son, Franny, and
good.
Dropped some things off to a nice lady and enjoyed taking them to lunch, and we had some lunch and came back down, and I just got in not that long ago, and I just rushed to get you on the air.
Well, thank you.
And who do we have on tonight? Anybody?
Well, we were supposed to have Bill Bruce on. He is a UFO investigator, but he had an emergency, and so couldn't get him on tonight. But we're going to try to get him back.
Well, it's okay. That happens.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, that happens.
We had Edward on last week with his picture about the aliens at Area 51s by the truck. And I got a better photograph of that. We're going to put that up probably the next Tuesday when I'm going to try to get him back on. I know he's listening, so we'll do that. Yeah, what a great show. He's a nice guy, too, I'll tell you for sure. And I believe it. I believe the photograph, and I believe it's real. And so he's had on it for several years. And but it's quite the photograph. What a clear night we have. Do you agree with me? Do you see that moon up there, Franny?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Even last night, it was such a beautiful moon. It really was.
You can see it really well too. It's
Well,
very
down
clear.
where you're at, you really can. I'm in in the city, Vegas.
Yeah, right.
You're down in the country part. You're in the nice part.
Yeah, we're in the nice part. It's nice and quiet.
Yes, you really are.
A little cold up here though right now, but I got the heater on in the studio.
You can't have everything, Larry.
No, you can't. My goodness gracious. Well, listen, buddy. Thank you for the phone call, and do me a favor. Have a great week. All righty. And
you got it, my friend. You got it. And you have a good show this evening.
I will. Thank you for tuning in, bro.
Well, you're more than welcome, Larry. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You got it. Great guy, Fran. Known him for years. Fantastic guy. He had his own show on KDON and a bunch of other stations, and he's got some projects he's working on also. But the lines are open. Go ahead, Ross, give us that number.
To talk with Glenn Lary, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Lary.
And I am back. Yes. Ross does such a good job, I'll tell you for sure. Yeah, he's done it for a lot of big radio people. And he did some stuff for me. I thank him very much for that. Yes. Well, with all these sightings that we're seeing, I'm going to take a trip out here real soon. These beautiful nights that are clear like this, but cold. Yes, it gets very cold in the desert at night. we see a lot of things. We see a lot of stuff going on in the skies. And I normally go out with two people, and we can sort out which are the satellites and which are the whatever, space junk and what is not. And we try to tape these things and put them on film or on camera with all this good stuff they have now that you can buy and get up really close. And of course, the night vision is pretty cool. Have you seen that? Yeah, you can see a lot of stuff going on and that you would normally not see. And I think that's kind of fun. So if you get a chance, get out there in the desert and see what's going on in the skies. Always look up, never look down. You're walking, look up around and see what's going on. Daytime sightings are happening more and more and more. Yeah, people are saying, just reading some stuff off of MUFON, some stuff they had going. And I was quite surprised that what people are seeing, pretty crazy stuff. And all of a sudden, my computer wants to clean itself. You ever get that happening? Yeah, I try to get out of it right away. Cancel that. Here we go. But yeah, give us a call. We're gonna get a lot of people on Facebook here coming up. Seeing some folks on StreamYard right now. Oh, I love Canada. I do. I'd like to come and just type some stuff back to you, but I can't because I got too many things going on in the studio right now. We're going to give this number out again. Stand by.
To talk with Glenn Lary, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Lary.
Oh, yes, here we are. I kind of like this beat here. We just got this the other day. Kind of a hit. Yeah. And the X-Files deal going on there. Things done differently. Oh, you betcha. Yes. I'm going to go to a PSA with you guys real fast. I got to get these out because it is about that time to do so. I can't let that go, of course. It's important.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
And you got that down right. Yes. Open lines now, folks. That's right. Go ahead. You're on the air. Who are you and where are you from, please?
Yeah, Glenn Lary, this is Avery down here in Florida. How you doing?
Oh, Avery, how you been? How is your weather down there? Of course, it's really good. I'm quite sure.
Oh, it's clear. The moon's bright. It's a beautiful night.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, we have a beautiful moon here. Yeah, it'd be interesting what your moon looks like down there. Mine's pretty bright, and you can see it very clearly. How about you?
Oh yeah. It's
full.
It's almost You don't need any lights. You walk outside and gallivant around. Hey, on Ed's picture.
Yes.
On the photograph there, was that on the weekend?
You know what? I don't know. To tell you the truth, he told me that he took it. Yes, it must have been the weekend. Maybe that sounds familiar.
I'm just curious because I've worked security before,
Right.
and sometimes on the on not the regular shifts, but the weekend shifts or the late night shifts,
Right.
we would pull some shenanigans.
Oh.
Working security.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if the photograph is real, but the aliens might be security personnel and just trying to.
Well, you don't know, do you?
You know, especially.
Gosh.
I mean, I can imagine that area has the best security system in the world, to include ground radar, and so they know when somebody's coming, or they know when somebody's across the fence looking in, and
Yes.
And to go out
Yes,
there
they
and
do.
check it out. I mean, I would be tempted if I was whacking hut, especially on the weekend when and didn't have a lot of supervisors around. I'd give somebody something to look at.
Well, yeah. I would too.
Just a
I
thought,
tell you the
just
truth,
a thought.
but it might be. You never know. But I can see them clearly in that picture, and
Well, yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, I believe the picture's real.
Yeah, I
I'm
do
just
too.
wondering if I just having worked security before and
Yeah.
having been in the military and sometimes you I mean, some of the missions I've been on in South Florida, we had alien masks, you know.
Cool. It's interesting. I haven't.
And,
I don't own one myself, but gosh, I want to get a little statue for this. I do have something here. Gosh, I gotta pull it out. If you're watching, it's kind of cool. And I went and bought these. They're like a salt and pepper shaker holder, and it's of this alien. And he's standing on a UFO, as you can see him. Everybody, there he is.
Yeah.
You know, and I got a gray one, and I have a green one. So I'm gonna put that little guy right up here. You know what the heck? And yeah. So I get these little things, you know, people also send me some cool stuff. I got some stuff from London, England up there. You can see Barbara and Neil got that for me. My Bobby hat. Yes. So any sightings in your area lately?
Not that I know of, but I haven't been on the websites to check out to see if there is.
Right.
I need to do that just to kind of follow up. Now, I did have a friend of mine. She was talking to me, and she's got a friend of hers who's a galactic whistleblower.
Really?
And I'm like, okay, I'll play your silly game. What's a galactic whistleblower? And so it sounds pretty interesting. It's kind of a convoluted tale, but I was like, you want to be on the radio?
Yes. I would love to talk to her.
Well, and I'll try to get the two of you together, and you can talk to her, you know, offline.
Yeah.
And just see if you want to have her on the show.
I had a gentleman that is the galactic captain or commander of the galactic something. Remember that guy? And gosh, maybe they can talk to each other on the phones, and we can all listen and hear all about this galactic whole bit, you know. And I mean, it's guys pretty interesting to talk to, you know. Now, folks, I'm telling you, it's big universe out there. I don't know what type of club you got to be in, but this guy's a commander of the galactic whatever. That's interesting, is it not?
Well, now, wasn't what's his name, Dr. Greer? Wasn't he doing something along those lines as far as galactic representatives or?
Well, I believe he has his own thing going at this point, where they can actually, you know, make things happen up there. And it's a group that get together. Gosh, I don't have that information in front of me, but those that do, look it up and give us a call. We'll know about that. But just look up Stephen Greer. It'll come right up. Something 2 or something E2, or I forget how it goes. But they get together on these groups, and they have these groups all around all of the world now. And they meet, and he started that also. You know, Earl Grey would know a lot about that stuff too. I had him on. He's a great guy. Boy, I'll tell you, he's got some good information. And but I was told you don't have to go to a group like that. You can do it yourself if you're in tune and you really concentrate, and things may happen. And for instance, I'll tell you this story. I'm sitting out on my lawn chair on a summer, nice evening. Sky is full of stars and planets I could see. And there was 2 planets I was looking at. And I go, gosh, I'd like to see something happen. I want to see you guys. Come on. I'm really getting into it, you know what I'm saying? And sure enough, this little light goes from one planet to the other.
Wow.
And I says, okay, if that's really happening, go back to the other planet. And zip right to the other planet I went. I'm telling you, it really happened. And I go, wow, this is true stuff. So I'm going, okay.
Well, and that's why I do believe you can, because I've heard of it before. My daughter did it with a friend of hers, and I've seen some other stuff where contacting UFOs via a Ouija board, which I thought was an interesting concept.
I don't like that device. So much can come in, bad things can happen. You know.
Well, yeah. I would take protection measures.
Yeah.
Of course, but I mean, if they can read your mind, I mean that should be a way to do it.
Yeah, it's just so much with that whole situation.
It'd be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it at my own home. I'd probably do it out in the.
Yeah, I mean, I'd get a group together and
go in the desert,
videotape. Matter of fact, I think I know some individuals. We could try that experiment, and we'll do it on a Tuesday night, and we'll call in.
Right, that would be very interesting. I would love to have that happen. I know that I'm planning on doing something with the Pioneer, and of course it's haunted. There's ghosts down there, I'll tell you for sure. And doing a show down there late on lockdown or something, and record that and play that for the show for one night. Now, I don't normally do that. You know, I don't want to bring things home with me, around me.
Oh, yeah.
So I like just to be on this end of it, where they're not bugging me or right on my coattail home. So, but we're going to do something like that, something fun.
Okay.
And,
hey, my son's calling for me.
Okay.
So I got to go. And nice talking to you. And a great show last week too.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Thank you kindly, my friend, and keep in touch.
I sure will. I'll talk to you later.
Be well, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, what a great guy. Avery, man. He's a smart cookie, I'll tell you. He really is. So yeah, a lot of sightings, I was saying earlier, that the boomerang. And I wonder what it is, why they're seeing boomerangs, and then there's a phase of the saucer, and then there's the something in the cloud, and now the clouds are looking at like UFOs, huge UFOs, saucer likes. More and more pilots now are mentioning it, as you probably have read, and they're seeing some stuff going on up there. Now that they can report that without being, thought of as a crackpot, or you need to have your wings taken away type of thing. A lot of them were very afraid of that. And so now they can report all that and say, hey, this is what happened, get it documented. And so MUFON can put it in their logs and their investigation reports. And there's a lot of great investigators that work for them. I'll tell you, like Earl Grey, a friend of mine. And do report what you see, no matter what you think. You can use another name, whatever, but tell them what happened and where it was and what time it was. If you get some pictures and stuff, and people in the picture are so it's real, it all helps out, of course, And because they're there, like I told you just earlier. And I think they're among us, and we can't see them. I think maybe that might be happening also. Bigfoot has been seen again up in Washington State, and that's starting to rally up again. And we're going to do another show on Bigfoot, because that's always a fun show, one of my favorites. And of course, abductions, and of course, time lost is all my fun stuff too, and time travel. Yeah. Talked to a gentleman the other day. Says he went back into time and saw Lincoln and got to visit with him. Now, that's interesting, because a lot of people go back to Lincoln I don't know why. There's something there that, well, there's a picture of a young child that says it's him in that picture. And he's wearing like tennis shoes. Yeah. Well, they didn't have tennis shoes during Lincoln's time, I'm quite sure. So it's interesting. Or is it Photoshop? Yeah. That's interesting that he would bring that up about that photograph. Although, yeah, people do play games. But it's quite interesting. We have no doubt about that photograph being real. But he saw what he saw, and there's probably more to it too. And we're going to have him on again because he's a nice guy, and it's really happened. And I want more of that happening, folks. We're going to open up the lines again, and here's the number. Ross, please.
To talk with Glenn Lary, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Lary. Now, back with Glenn Lary on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
Boy, it's deep and cold sometimes, I'll tell you for sure. But I tell you, that moon is unbelievable. If you're out and about this area, like, of course, even Fran was saying he saw it over there. And, of course, in Florida, it's a big moon. We're all going to see it on this planet. But it sure is nice. I haven't seen one like that for quite a while. Yeah. I want to see more. We'll see a craft come down. That would be pretty cool. Something to land that field across the way there. Just land, Yeah, watch what I wish for, huh? Maybe so. Yeah. Once again, here's this number.
To talk with Glenn Lary, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Lary.
And that I am here. Yes, thank you again. Like I said, anybody having an anniversary or birthday, I wish you the best. Yeah, birthdays are fun. I had a great birthday. My friends and family, what have you. I want to say hello to my daughter, by the way, Crystal. She's listening. And to my ex-wife, Sue. How's she doing? Hope that's fine. I talked to an old friend of mine in Santa Barbara, Dennis, and he's a ham operator, K6RCL. And I'm studying for this test, this technician test. And boy, I'll tell you, it's a rough one. And it's a lot of theory. And when you've had, a heart situation, a little bit of stroke, whatever, things just don't come to you like they used to, especially when you get a little older, my friends. We all know that. So we're working through all that. And I told you earlier about the World Radio Club. If you're on 11 meters, of course, that you'll probably be on 27, 385 or 306, what have you. And talk with everybody out there. It's 27, 395. Have a check on Sunday. So I try to get a hold of a Monte Rater to talk to and get a hold of. So if anybody from that club's listening, you tell them I want to join. Yeah. And I've been in radio all my life, and I love every bit of it. And I hope you do too. Hope you enjoy this show. Yeah. Well, I sit here wondering, when is the next big sighting going to happen? When is the big, how you say it, bust of news? Will we hear? Will it be more balloons coming over from China, or from maybe a experiment going bad with the radio club? That's what they said one was. Or will it be wartime? They could bring over anything that they can on a balloon, and we have to shoot them down, of course. Those EMPs. That could be a bomb attack, something like that. Send them over in balloons. They did it in World War II. I think I told you that earlier. And I'd hate to see that happen. I don't want any war. We don't need war at all. We need peace. Yeah. Who's going to send all this stuff to Walmart and what have you? China. We buy stuff from China, unbelievable. Maybe start making more stuff in the United States. I got a lot of cool stuff, old tools, made in the United States. Still working. But I go buy it, like a saw or a drill. They're not from, they don't make them much in the United States. They get them from China. They're so cheap. You buy a package of this and that and a saw, and then you use it for maybe 3 times, and it's no good anymore. Or you burn it up, or, it's just not working. Yeah, what the heck. We're going to give this number out again.
To talk with Glenn Lary, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Lary.
And do give us a call. This is Early Dawn coming up. You're going to enjoy them. They're quite a band, I'll tell you. Out of L.A., by the way. Good people. Steve is my neighbor. He's a guitar player for that group.
Try to reason with my heart and say we're better off this way.
And I'll tell you, they're a good group, and we have them in. We're going to interview them, the guitar player and bass player, coming up. So that's going to probably happen in a couple of weeks. I'm going to have Steve in the studio and talk about that band because they were famous out of Los Angeles. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you from? And welcome to the show.
Hi, this is Stan. How you doing, Glenn?
Oh, fantastic, Stan. How are you?
I'm pretty good tonight, thanks.
And what would you like to talk about?
Well, I just did want to talk about I had your show on. I'm making some dinner now, so kind of off and on. I've been trying to listen, but we just got back from Florida. We live in the Henderson area.
Okay.
And we went out to Florida for the week. There's some travel, and we have some family down in the Orlando area. But we went out to the Daytona Beach area. Have you heard of it?
Nice. Yes, very nice area.
Yeah, very nice. Anyway, I went there, and my cousin was with me, and I have this app that we follow the space station.
Oh, nice.
The ISS, and we knew they had a good flyover this last week. And we were on the beach, and I always try to look at the skies and try to, I have this great app that has all the satellites, and you can identify where they're from and what country and what they are. And
right.
It's really neat. Anyway, make a long story short, we were out there on the beach and watching ISS flying over. Boy, it's really neat to watch it. Anyway, we're out at the far end over the ocean. We did see quite a bit of lights in the sky with doing strange patterns.
Huh.
And I was on the beach. This was in the evening.
Right.
And there were other people out there, and they were out, looking for seashells or just beach, roaming the beach at night. That's what people do out there. And I said, what are, because I thought maybe it's something that the locals might know or something. And I said, look, what is that out? What are those lights out there? And nobody really knew what they were. And we couldn't figure out. They had a really strange pattern of flying very low to the water. And then they would stop short and then go skyrocket up in the air. And I really couldn't tell how far it was out there, but they were definitely shimmering, and it was a pretty good moon out, so you could see the light, reflection off some kind of metallic object. But it's really, Glenn, it's really hard to tell how far they're out because it's the horizon on the water. But there were about, I counted 5. My nephew said there were 6, but I counted 5. And they were out there doing some very peculiar movements out there on the water. They, it seemed to be they were actually going in the water, but I couldn't tell if they just were getting low and disappearing. But it did look like that they were being submerged and coming back up again.
Interesting. Now, were they just any other type of color that you saw at all?
Well, mostly metallic, and then there were lights. Periodically, there were lights. More of a amber yellow,
Okay.
and then it would change to an almost a red, not quite red like stop sign red, but amber yellow to a almost a light or a pinkish type of color.
Yes.
But the light seemed to be circling around the
Oh my gosh.
the object,
whatever it is.
I've never seen anything like it. You know, we do look at, like I said, we look at the satellites from time to time.
Right.
Here in Nevada, I try to get out of town. Did you say you're from the Good Springs area or out in the desert area?
Yeah, deep in the desert. In Nevada, it's Good Springs.
Yeah, that's a great place to go stargazing because you don't have the light noise from the city. And that's a great place to.
I know that
stargaze.
You get a chance. I know that the Pioneer, as I always bring up, is a meeting place I go quite a bit.
I'm familiar with Pioneer Saloon.
Yeah,
correct?
Right. And they're going to have the star thing happening again, stargazing, and they've got some telescopes and stuff, so they're going to be doing more of that. And
that's great news.
Yes,
I can, we can.
It's fantastic. You come up here and do that too. Something to do.
Yeah, I'll look out for that, Glenn. I look forward to it. And maybe if I go out there, I can ask around and maybe we can meet up face to face, and I can buy you a beer or something.
I'm supposed to have a meeting with a guy tomorrow. It's coming up from Las Vegas that wants to see the station, and I'll give him a little tour, and we'll sit and talk. But that's a great.
I hear
place.
there has been some sightings out there in the Good Springs and the state line area.
Yes. I've seen a lot
peculiar lights in the sky around the mountain areas.
Yeah, I have seen so many. It's crazy. And of course, when I go out with these people, they know what the satellites, what they are, and if it's space junk or what have you. But we've seen some incredible stuff happen up here, and we've logged it and took pictures. And these pictures don't come out that good, but at least you got something that you can show them. This is what we saw.
Yeah, we took some pictures and video with my phone out in Florida, and it doesn't do it any justice because the camera it doesn't adjust like the human eye, and you adjust to the light. When you get used to the darkness, your eye adjusts to it. You'll be able to see a lot better. Where the phone doesn't really know how to do that.
Right. And you're never prepared. It just these things happen when they happen, and it's not like you can just set up your tripod and okay, it's going to show up right now. You just don't know. And that's you grab your phone, you pray to God you got something, and normally
I tell you, there was a gentleman on the beach, and he had a tripod, and he had a decent camera. I think he was trying to get the star trail photography.
Yes,
when the stars move, and I said, see if you can zoom in on that and try to record that. He did do it, but like I said, it's a tough. I don't know. You need a super zoom or something to get anything in anything that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
But it was still really neat and was fascinating. My nephew, he really got a kick out of it. And we were out there for. Well, I want to say almost in half an hour watching watching these lights and these
What do you
these
think?
objects.
What do you think they're doing? What do you think that are they communicating with us in some way and showing us something, or do you think they're communicating with each other, or what do you think the whole what's it all about and why?
Well, I don't know if it was a communicate. I mean, to me, if they wanted to communicate, they could have came right to the shoreline. And, there was a bunch of hotels there, and we could have got a great look. To me, it looked like they were doing some kind of exercise or some kind of maneuvers or something to that extent, because the way they were zipping up and down and across the horizon, tremendous speeds, and then they would slow down, and then it seemed to be disappear in the water.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's anything off the eastern coast or eastern seaboard over there that
base or something.
Pardon?
Like a base, maybe underwater.
I don't know if there's some sort of. It's you hear a bunch of theories of craft that are submerged and they have dual capabilities to be able to be submerged in the water and fly in the air, which is fascinating.
Like you say, that
if they had some kind of technology like that, and it's who's to say if it's off world, if it's interdimensional travel or time travel, which is interdimensional itself, or have they always been here? Are they just a superior group of people that are just superior in technology?
There is a theory. It's been told and talked about many times that these are time travelers, and they're coming back to see record what's happened in the past. Because who's before it all started? Maybe we wiped each other out or something, and some people survived, and they're coming back to see history. Like a big history book, more or less, that they come back and visit. I don't know if these time travelers can do anything.
It could be like like tourists.
Yeah, a lot like tourists. Yeah, you're going to take it back in time to Earth, and then we happen to see these crafts because that's their time device to travel in them. I've heard about people seeing people on a craft and lined up looking out windows. Now that's interesting. Thing to see, I guess that would explain maybe what they're doing. Maybe it's a classroom situation where
it's hard to say, Glenn. We had our flashlights and we were trying to flag them down and to get a little closer. That's we were just my nephew he wanted them to come fly over us,
right?
So we could get a really good view of what they actually, how big they were and what they were. For goodness sake,
right.
I really wish that I had this
better camera. Probably.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those weird things, as in, do you poke the bear?
Yeah.
What I've seen people with these high-powered laser pointers and trying to, point at these crafts, but of course, if it you can't do that with an airplane. You can get in big trouble with that.
Yeah, you can. Although something like that out there, and you're seeing that, I wouldn't think it would be aircraft of ours doing all that. But you're right. You can get in trouble with that. I've had.
I don't know if it's. Sometimes it makes me wonder if some of these crafts that we keep hearing about, if indeed they are our experimental craft. Look at the stealth bomber.
Yes.
Good Lord, if I saw that and didn't know anything about the stealth, I would think I was a UFO.
Yeah.
If that thing flew over me, I've seen them at air shows, Glenn, and they're impressive piece of machinery that our
and quiet
United
too.
States Air Force has created there. But it's some high-tech stuff there. And I tell you, even when I know that
it's ours.
Stealth, I look at it and go, wow, that looks like a UFO.
Yeah, well, I imagine there was a lot of reports on that when it first came out, and people were seeing that, and that was what it was.
Of course, there's rumors that all that technology did come from, from they call reverse engineering from, UFOs from the 50s and the 40s, and we don't quite understand everything, and it takes a while to figure it out.
Right. Well, I think there's more crashes that happen, and that they're not reported. I mean, they're just. Well, I know for a fact that there's been some crashes and they've been recovered and been kept quiet. And too many people see certain things and they keep their mouths shut or they hide until they can say something to somebody. And then it kind of.
I tell you, it really seems like the amount of sightings and people talking about it lately.
Oh yeah,
you see it on the YouTube and on the internet, and you even see it on the news now that it's just a common occurrence now of these sightings lately. So I don't know if it's just because the amount of people with phones and video just on them, as opposed to back in the day, our phone before cell phones, nobody carried around a video camera with them on a regular basis.
No.
But now
those that did,
everybody does.
Yeah. Like I say, it's not the best. You get a shaky picture and you get something at least, but your hand's shaking and and you just can't get it. I have seen some pictures that were taken from cameras that were fair, but still they had to take them to a special place and have them looked at, and slowed down and what have you. Now, everybody has kind of a lab now, I guess, their video lab or make their own movies. So I don't know. They could probably do it themselves. But there's so much out there's not real, and
I'm sure. So, there's a lot of deep fake stuff out there, and stuff that they can do with computers and computer graphics.
Right.
It's amazing. But when the Pentagon is releasing stuff, it makes you kind of think like, wow,
we're all being prepared.
They're onto something here.
We're all being prepared for something's going to happen big, and it's going to be just huge.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I'm quite sure.
Kind of prepping us and getting us ready for the whole big reveal.
Yeah, that they are. And when it happens, maybe we won't be so shocked. Your Flash Gordon days will really go, oh, I knew it was all true anyway, Well, listen, sir, I want to thank you kindly for calling, and we appreciate you listening to the Glenn Lary Show.
Great show always, Glenn. And I have it in the background, and
good.
I listen to it, and I put it on my TV, and back and forth. And like I said, I was making some dinner, and
nice.
I wanted to call in and let you know about our encounter that we had up in down in Florida. It was something else. It was something neat to see, and I hope to see some more encounters. And
well, they say once you see one, you see others.
People, just look up. Look to the sky. There's a lot of neat stuff. There's neat stuff that's not UFO, and there's I tell people about that app that I have on my phone with the tracking the International Space Station.
That's
and boy, I tell you, when that thing flies over, it's amazing to see how quick that 10,000 miles an hour that thing is flying over.
Yeah. Really fast. I've seen it several times. Yeah,
incredible.
Do you see the lines of satellites too that Musk has? Do you see those too?
Yes, we see those from time to time. He evidently, when he first put those up, there's shields on them that reflect the sun, and that's what you see is the reflection.
Yeah.
And I guess he they did something, and you don't see him as much as you used to, because
Right.
I don't know, he diverted the shield, but the things that reflect off of
Right.
it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you don't see him as much. I don't know why he did. I don't know if he got a complaint or. But
Huh.
the first time I saw those, I was
Right.
like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And it was
Really.
just amazing to see that what's going on and what's. But there's a lot of. He's put a lot of those Starlink satellites up,
Yeah.
and you can track those. We track those on the app as well.
Okay,
And,
that's good. Now,
they're
what about
pretty neat.
space junk? And what really fascinates me is these satellites are up there, and you got thousands of little rocks and all things flying around up there, going past these satellites, and you don't hear about a lot of them going down. Or I mean, you would think that they would destroy a lot of the stuff up there, some of these satellites. Without
Well,
that
as
space
my
junk and stuff.
understanding is NASA, and they have their own division for orbiting everything that orbits around
Yes.
the Earth, and
Yes.
and they track just about everything that's orbiting, every piece of metal or junk or whatever that's been orbiting around the Earth. Most of the junk does end up re-entering the atmosphere and burning up, because most satellites, their orbits do degrade, especially the ISS. They do degrade, and they have to, push a rocket, or not a rocket, but they have internal rockets or internal pushing device on the satellites to get them back on track and on the correct trajectory. But the stuff that's dead and the stuff that's junk and that, it eventually it will degrade the orbit, and most of the time it burns up in the atmosphere. Sometimes it can land, but you don't hear about it. It's mostly most of it's getting just burnt up in re-entering the atmosphere.
Right. Well, China, Russia, even India, they have their satellites up there also. It's quite interesting.
China's got a lot of satellites up there, Glenn, and believe it or not, India does, and almost every modern country has some sort of satellite up there. But China's shooting quite a bit in the last few years, and most of them communication satellites, and I'm sure some spy satellites, just like us. We've got a bunch of spy and communication satellites, and there's obviously a lot of privately owned satellites for communication and GPS and all kinds of entertainment purposes and that kind of thing. And China does too. They're a big country, and they have
communication devices
and cell phone services and all kinds of things going on as well. They're just like us.
But it fascinates me that they, how much they stay up there and they avoid getting hit by a lot of the meteors and stuff. I mean, it must be just interesting.
It's amazing how much stuff is up there floating around, though. You're right.
Yeah, the junk too.
There's, because they can't, once a satellite or a rocket or whatever, it's no longer in use. It's not like they can say, okay, let's turn it around and push it. It's pretty much stuck in orbit until it.
All right, let's send it to the sun.
It degrades and falls to Earth.
Send it to the sun, right?
Well, that's a long distance, Glenn.
That is long. Well, yes, true. Well, listen, my friend, I want to thank you very much for calling again, and keep in touch. And
my pleasure. Great show as always, Glenn. And when they do the stargazing up there in Good Springs, I'll try to give you a look, or I'll ask about you if you had anything.
They all know me.
And maybe we can get a beer or something.
Yeah, it sounds like a winner. Be well, and again, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Good night, sir. Interesting. I love talking to people that have knowledge, and really getting with the conversation. That's what it's all about on the Glenn Lary Show. Well, here we are once again. I want to thank all of you guys out there for listening, and tune in next week. Hopefully we'll have Mr. Bruce on again, and we'll line some people up. I want to thank you for listening, and play well together. And we do have one last call. Let's see if we can take this. We're just about to ending off the air, but go ahead. I'll take one more call. You're live.
Well, it's Ken here in Florida.
Well, Ken, how you doing? How your eyes doing, my friend?
Well, I got an infection in it, but they said it'll be okay.
Oh, good. Take those drops.
But now I want to tell you what that guy's seeing.
What is he seeing?
USOs.
USOs. Okay.
They're underwater submersible objects. They've been up there for years. Huh. I personally never seen them, but I think that's what he may have had a rare opportunity to see.
Okay. Maybe so.
But I tried to get on there to let him hear you, but I guess we're off the air now. He won't hear that, but that's... I heard about them, and I believe that's what he may have seen.
Yeah, we're still on, so I got maybe half a minute yet. So, but I want to say thank you for calling us up, and it all helps out there, Ken. And
Larry, you got to remember, we can go to the moon, but we can't go to the bottom of the ocean.
Isn't that something? I'll tell you for sure. Hey, you watch your mail. You got something coming in the mail for you there, okay?
Okay, buddy. I'll give you a call when we got more time to talk.
All right, be well.
You have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's one of my listeners from Florida. Neat people, yes, tell you for sure. Had eye surgery, cataracts. Again, thank you so much. Play well, have fun. This is Glenn Lary. Boy, I'll tell you, it's a fun night tonight.